I needed a man. I needed a man that actually knew how to take responsibility for himself. I needed a man that could compliment me. I needed a man that knew how to let other men know that it was not appropriate to try to misrepresent. They had some sort of qualification based upon the relativity that was demonstrated when they degraded women, as if their capacity was somehow able to be identified as greater relative to the manner in which they could degrade a woman in comparison. That's what I needed. I haven't had that for years. And so, because I haven't had that for years, there's very other little thing that can actually be yielded. Do you expect me to self fertilize? Or do you expect me to bud off? Expect me to create spores and let the wind blow them around and then go look at myself in some sort of amazement? I needed a man that could actually be a man. And without one, I had to become the best approximation of a man I could be. Because there wasn't any man that was actually willing to stand up for an actual woman. I'm not talking about some sort of bio enhanced projection of the emanation of his capacity based upon how compliant a woman is through engaging with him. I'm talking about a man who knows how to be a man and compliment and be complimented by a woman. That just doesn't seem to exist anymore. So if you don't have a man that can be a man with a woman, you don't get girls and boys. This is the big problem. This isn't even about moralizing. Stop reducing this to some sort of pedantic bastardization of some sort of religious ideation. You guys have taken religion and spirituality and so profaned it for anything from nuclear energy to the art of finance that you try to sell to other people. The truth of the matter is, biologically speaking, you need a man, you need a woman. Once a man and a woman are able to create something together, something gets created. Girls, boys, children, events, art. You didn't give me any men. You made me watch as you tried to turn all of the women into something horrendously less than who they were. You took them away from me, and you didn't even give me any men as a result. You didn't give me anything. I can't give you anything if you don't give me anything. And this is the brutal logic of what you did. You already know. You already know. You intentionally put me in a confine where there is absolutely nothing that is reflected to me of any value. So that I'm constantly excitated to overproduce and hyperproduce. It's part of the logic of hyper exploitation. And even if you don't like 90% of what I say or do, that 10% is good enough as long as you make sure there's nobody else that has access. And you're wasting and wasting and wasting. And it's part of one of the reasons why the earth is dying. I don't know why you were so arrogant that you thought you were so important. You could kill off so many people so comprehensively and effectively. It's really a sign of your own weakness. I've been inside now, off the streets. And for the 2 years I've been inside and off the streets, I'm not any closer to having a conversation with a real man than I was for the 3 years before that. So, just so you know, you can bitch all you fucking want about your girls and your boys. You didn't give me a man. So I wasn't able to even have a girl or a boy for myself. It's a simple logic. And if the reason you didn't give me a man is because if I had a man and he and I had some girls and we had some boys, we weren't going to let you coin them, then you're about to reap what you've sown. Don't mention it again. I don't want to hear another fucking thing about your boys or your girls or your kids or your children. You should have done something. I already warned you. Even if Abbott cuts off all the 600s that the Constitution discusses, you guys still coined your fucking kids. You coined your kids. Cutting off the Forex rate for a certain tier so that somewhere further downstream that doesn't know the conversion scheme isn't gonna work. You already fucking coined your kids. So stop talking about it. Talk about what this is really about. If you gave a shit about child welfare, if you gave a shit about early education, if you gave a shit about actually making sure that young people were safe, you didn't. Every time that's come up, that wasn't good enough. You wanted something else. Well, you've got it. You're going to have to deal with your illegal coinage. It's right there. Ever since last November, it's actually on the official fucking record. You can have your coinage, and you can have it non-legal tender. It's exactly what you did when you coined your kids. They're all non-legal tender. And somebody felt like that was the economy that was appropriate to have. Nobody told you, maybe. You already knew. You already knew you were getting the benefits. You already knew your kid was involved. You already knew when you got irritated, you had options for what to do. As long as you did that, you got what you wanted. Did you not know that they created a literal virtual currency that was non-legal tender? What did you think that meant? Did you think they were going to give you legal tender 10-year-old? Did you? I'm sorry. You already know. It's already on the record. Don't talk to me about your kids anymore. Talk to me about whether or not you expect a 10-year-old to be legal tender, or if you're willing to take the risk with non-legal tender. That's where we are now.